Hey y'all, hello, happy Friday, TGIF. This is my review for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 12. I feel like I'm doing okay this week on Housewives. I'm going to try to get Beverly Hills out to y'all either tonight, because, it was a pretty chill episode, and I just cannot wait to talk about, like, how much hate is going on for that franchise. I'm really taken aback by this. Like, it's a little bit of a backlash. But yeah, either you'll get that this evening or tomorrow. But yes, Salt Lake City, this was an okay episode. Hello to the people coming into the room. Not it sucks, not you too. I'm getting nervous. Like, are people not going to watch it anymore? Y'all love Garcelle that bad? That much? Oh, so what can I say before we start? So make sure you like the video, subscribe to a ninja, slowly but surely getting up there to 18K. I do cameos now. That's in the description below if you're interested. Yeah, I guess we can start now. So we open this episode with Bronwin at the airport, dressed in an inflatable sloth costume, to greet Todd at the airport. It's their thing. Now, I admire that Bronwin lacks the shame to do this in public. He has the most nonchalant reaction to seeing her. Their relationship to me, it just still gives like a father-daughter relationship. And just a little creepy, just a little bit. As they're driving, she's telling Todd about her drama with the ladies, and she's bothered that she pissed Whitney off in the last episode. Y'all remember because she told Meredith what she said, well, implied that she had like some type of substance abuse problem. Bronwin then has the idea to have a gathering dedicated to her getting her citizenship, as well as the ladies to hash things out amongst each other. They're calling it, it's a Boston Tea Party theme, but it's Boston Spill the Tea Party. Sure, why not? Todd is doing his best to pretend to be interested in what she's talking about. He did a good job this particular episode. So the next scene we're with Whitney and that horrible shade of red hair that she has, talking to Justin on their porch. The gist of this conversation, she is holding major resentment towards Justin for tanking her business, in a decision that she regrets. I'm wondering, is she absolving herself of any responsibility in this? Do y'all think so? Or was it truly like his fault? She's currently trying to break away from this merger that they I guess blew all their money on, and trying to get her name brand, her name, her brand, and her inventory back. Justin just didn't want Chucky to attack him. It looked like, she really despised him in that scene. But Justin does say that he's sorry for getting her into this. So maybe it is his fault. I don't know. I didn't really care that much. It's definitely affecting their marriage because it's hard for her to separate him from her business failing, her baby. Allegedly, I heard the streets are saying that she's going to be announcing her divorce before the reunion or at the reunion. We'll see. Let's see. I think it was mostly his money and she was following along. Okay. Whitney must have forgotten how her husband lost his job because of Housewives. Do you think maybe that's why she trusted him, because she felt like she owed him? Like, oh, well, here's what I did. I can at least let you take the lead on this. And she trusted him, and now her business tanked. I don't know. Would love to know what y'all think about that in the comment section. So the next scene, we're at Heather's. She's surprising her daughter I believe her youngest one, by decorating her room in the college colors she's attending. I'm trying to think if my mom did that, would I want that? Like LSU was gold and purple, and those are two colors that I just don't like. I sometimes forget that I went to LSU because when I was there, I just despised the favoritism that these college athletes got. Like when I went there, it was a party school, kind of, sort of, with an amazing football team. This was between 2003 and 2008. But yeah, they treated the athletics department like kings, while, the rest of us had to, go to school, actually attend our classes, make the good grades, work. I worked. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna stop being a hater. But yeah, class of LSU, LSU class of 2008. Anyway, she seems super happy that this is the last child of hers on their way out of her house. And that was just basically the gist of the scene. Next scene, we're at Bronwin's house. She's currently creating an initiative for businesses in Salt Lake City to put up pride flags, since there was a ban in Utah, I believe, that they can have pride flags on government buildings. She has her mom helping her, and she thanks her by telling her, "Oh, I know this isn't how you feel politically about stuff," which made me pause and raise an eyebrow to that. Like, how does she feel about this issue, Bronwin? Let us know, please. Because her mom looks like she would be the first person to call the police on my black ass. Just saying. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just going from looks. That's all. All in all, I felt this scene was a little bit forced to present her mom in a more positive light, because she's looked like an absolute monster so far this season. So, are y'all buying this? Are y'all? Let me know. Me too. I was on marching band. The athletes were treated like kings. That's how it is. Yes, Louisiana in the chat. I love it. Let's see. Oh, y'all not buying it. So y'all not hear from Muzzy. Let's see. Oh, y'all not buying it. Oh my gosh. My phone is just like, have me on YouTube. I cannot stand this. Anyway. Where was I? Okay, so next scene, it is the day of Bronwyn's Boston Spill the Tea party. I thought this scene did not disappoint. The ladies are all dressed in a Hamilton fashion. We're going between cars on their way there, and Brittany is letting bad weather know that Meredith apologized to her. And, well, Meredith gave her version of an apology, and that just seemed to be enough for Brittany to move on, because it was basically a take it or leave it. Whitney and Heather are side-eyeing it, and they still don't think Meredith has really taken accountability. And that definitely is going to come up later in the episode. So everyone except Mary is there right now, arriving at the warehouse. So far, please let me know whose looks did y'all like. I love Whitney and Heather's looks because it looked like they added a fashion element to it, so it didn't look too costumey. Because I thought Whitney looked great in that little Quaker hat or whatever, putting on her lip gloss. Oh, thank you. This is an oldie but goodie. So this was during 2020. And, if you know Rogue and she has to stay back from people because of her powers, social distancing champion. Of course it would be Rogue of all people. I thought that was so clever. So yeah, I got this from TeePublic, if y'all are interested. Not me sounding like Stacy just now trying to sell this shirt. So yeah, back to the ladies' looks. Angie is literally in a Betsy Ross costume. Like it's given old maid. Yes. When I saw Meredith, I was like, what the fuck is that? What is she wearing? Lisa didn't participate at all, of course. I think she is the worst with themes, the worst. Meredith also, she was wearing something off the runway. Do I have the picture right quick? I can show y'all. I did. Oh, here it is. I still think it wasn't that great, even on the model. Yeah, I just, it's a no for me, dog. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. If I'm going to a theme, I'm gonna commit to it. No half-assing. I don't like doing that. So then Bronwyn greets everyone, and of course she knocks out the park with her first look. When they enter the warehouse, Bronwyn provides them with like white founding fathers wigs on the table. They then enter the room, and it is like a production. It looks like a little stage set, dinner table to like off to the right, props. Like there was effort and money put into this, and we appreciate that. How was that? And what Brittany had on, I just skipped Brittany because it wasn't that great. Um, let's see. Oh, so while Bronwyn is presenting the theme to the ladies, we see Mary arriving, and I actually loved her look because she also made it fashion, like fashion Hamilton. She sees the table of white wigs and then she pulls one out of her coat. Like, yeah, I brought my own. I just thought that was so funny. Like she is so tickled in the moment when she puts it on. She's like, I look like an idiot. Mary's contribution of comic relief to this show is just so necessary. She then comes in asking, is this real food? Because they basically just having sandwiches, scones, and hot dogs. Mary says she'd rather have McDonald's. And look, I don't mind a hot dog, but I still would be like, where the real food? So they get on the stage now, and the spill the tea party begins. They are going around the room, and they're going to say the person they spilled tea about. They're going to write it on this little package or something like that, and then they're going to throw it in the ocean off the stage, meaning they're going to move forward. This already seems like a recipe for disaster. But yeah, Angie starts, and her tea was about Lisa, and her lying that she bought a horse. So we see in the flashback that I guess she brought up that she bought a horse. I think someone asked her that. But then we see Angie saying she knows someone who said that actually Lisa is renting the horse from them and riding it. But Lisa's telling everyone that she bought it. So then Lisa tells Angie, well, I did buy the horse. And she's thinking about getting a second one. The back and forth is so hilarious. And this is the petty housewife arguments that we need. Petty shit like this. Like Angie asked her, what are you going to do with two horses? And then Lisa said, well, it's nobody's business. And then we cut to Angie's confessional, and she's saying, knowing Lisa, soon as she buys something, she has to show it off. I don't see anything on her social media of her riding a horse off into the sunset. Do we believe Lisa? As y'all know, buying a horse is expensive as fuck, let alone two horses. Like that means you got money if you got a horse somewhere. Because the upkeep alone is, I want to say, in the hundreds of thousands. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But yeah, the pettiness was so fun. So then next up, it's Brittany's turn. And of course, she makes it about the Osmond guy. Like, more so, she wants to know who said T about Jared because they allegedly broke up over it. I'm like, oh, girl. Turns out Whitney told Justin something, and since Justin is friends with the Osmond, that's pretty much her answer right there. It was probably Whitney. But Whitney didn't say like explicitly she was kissing and stuff like that. She just said that she was hitting on the deck people, the deck hands. Bronwin then expresses all of our sentiments and moves on. Excuse me, because she don't want to hear about Jared, and I don't want to either. Let me get some of this Celsius in my system. So then it's Heather's turn, and it's towards Bronwin and the rumor about Todd making out with somebody while farting. Still, like, it's still just a funny image. His Santa Claus looking ass, like, kissing somebody while he's farting. That means he can't control his, like, some bodily functions if he can't control his gas. But yeah, she asked Bronwin, don't you just find that ridiculous? But Bronwin, her face, she is not amused in the slightest and says she basically wants to move on. She's not fucking talking about that. So then, Heather throws the tea overboard, and Heather apologizes for bringing it up. But to be fair, I thought, Bronwin, this is your game. And I feel like she is so good at weaseling her ass out of the hot seat. Like, notice they haven't said shit about her alleged identity theft. Like, on the boat, like, she made it more a thing that Lisa was the one, alleged person that leaked it more so than the information. Like, I want to know, like, Bronwin, how did you get caught up in this? Like, someone of your stature. But yeah, moving on, Bronwin is next, and her tea is about ratting out Whitney to Meredith. She apologizes to Whitney, for mentioning it. Whitney then asks, well, if it was such a concern, how come, you didn't say anything and you were actually laughing? So we see in the flashback that Bronwin does that whole that nervous little thing that she does, that nervous laugh. But yeah, she didn't show concern for Meredith at all. She just was like, oh, well, wow. But yeah, I think I'm on Whitney's side between, her and Bronwin. What do y'all think? And look, don't kiki with me about something, then all of a sudden frame it to the other person that I didn't get a chance to talk to, like you were so concerned, because you weren't. So yeah, that would kind of piss me off too. So then Bronwin thinks just because she apologized to Whitney, Whitney will just accept that and move on. But Whitney is giving her some pushback on this. Like, girl, what you did was real foul. I confided into you, and like Bronwin says, well, that was between you and Meredith. Like, but Whitney says, like, well, you're the one that made me look bad. You threw me under the bus. Then Bronwin says, well, if you were uncomfortable about Meredith knowing this information, then you never should have said it. And then tell me about it behind her back. Now, I thought Bronwin kind of got her with that, but all the ladies should know by now, like we've seen since Bronwin's been on the show, you shouldn't trust her with sensitive information, especially information that you told her about another cast member. Like, you're doing it to yourself. So I'm on Whitney's side as well. She definitely was here for it. I like Bronwin, but she always burns her allies. Exactly. So yeah, after hearing that, Whitney says, you think I'm going to hit up a belligerent woman 2 days after that shit happened? With Meredith right there. Belligerent woman? So yeah, now Meredith jumps in, of course, and she says everything she said about the flight was the truth. And I'm just like, here we go. We're now going back and forth on what actually happened. Meredith calls Whitney a liar for the first time. Whitney is like, so you really saying that that didn't happen? You're saying that I'm lying. And so Whitney then says, can I take the crazy pill y'all on? And then Lisa, with the assist, she chimes in, well, apparently you already been taking it. Oh, now, I don't know why Whitney didn't try to get Lisa together, but Whitney tries to bring everybody else into it, saying, look, there were witnesses, so you can't just call me a liar. Meredith says, you're a liar. Whitney was like, okay, bitch, you want to call me a liar? Okay, pill popper, alcoholic. Ooh, ooh. I mean, so then Meredith gets up, like once Whitney says this, and in that moment, I thought she was about to get up and pop her, or get in her face at least. But instead, she has gifts that she's passing out. And it is caviar and a drug test for everybody. You get a drug test. You get a drug test. You get a drug test. Girl, you get a drug test. I was done. I was done watching. And then I was high watching this too. I got a good old cackle. Like, really? She's like, look, every now and then I do drink, and, you know, I have an occasional gummy. I have a lot of occasional gummies. I take my gummies like vitamins. But she then said, well, if you're accusing me of substance abuse, then I think you need to take the test. Like, I think this stunt that Meredith just pulled right now, I think she earned her snowflake with that. Passing out caviar, her own caviar, along with drug tests. Like, it's just so ridiculous. And you know what? I'm wondering this too. Like, well, why didn't you take the drug test then, Meredith? Like, you could have like did that. Didn't someone do? Who did that? They took a drug test and then showed it to everybody. Was it Aviva from New York? And then when she threw her leg on the table afterward, it was somebody who did that. They were showing drug tests. So then Meredith challenges Whitney and says, oh, the person with the accusations is quickly putting it away. Sounds like you're projecting. Whitney says, would you like me to pull down my skirt and pee on it? Because nothing is going to show. It kind of reminded me of when Nene told Andy, would you like me to pull your pants down and kiss your ass? Like, anyway, Meredith says, well, then let's see. Let's see. Take it. Like, encouraging Whitney to take the drug test. Like, I was just like, I am out. Like, how did the other ladies maintain straight faces while this was going on? I would have been on the floor crying. Oh, was Mariah from Married to Medicine? You right. You right, wasn't it? Because cocaine. I got the receipts. Baby girl. Thank you for reminding me of that. Anyway, oh yes, another one. It was all a lie, y'all. It was all a lie. I love my impressions. Anyway, so yeah, Meredith is mad that she implied that she had a problem. Now, Whitney says that wasn't her intention. And I'm just like, like, she says, I was just reacting to your behavior on the plane. And then Whitney then like says, like, tries to point out a pattern to Meredith. And then she brings up that it's a sensitive subject to her about that. And look, personally, I don't think Meredith has a substance abuse problem or a problem with alcohol. Y'all let me know in the chat. or in the comments below for the replay gang. One, I think that she really blacked out on the plane. Like, it was just a once, like, I just think she got blacked out drunk in that moment, because I remember, gosh, it's been so long since I've drank like that, but I get a little aggressive when I'm drinking, and I get very flirtatious and very aggressive. And I'm just like, oh shit, what did I do? What did I do yesterday? What did I do? So the thing is, I'm using myself as an example, a little bit of Chris's business. And look, don't try to start anything. Everything was of consent. I don't want to start that shit. But anyway, like, just to try to recall what happened, like, I feel like with Meredith, it's like, if you can't recall the events that happened, like you got 4 other people telling you what happened, what you said, what you did, and you're calling them a liar. And yeah, I would think it would be concerning if you're trying to tell me what I didn't see with my own eyes, what I didn't hear with my own 2 ears. So yeah, y'all, right now, like, look, until the reunion, maybe we have some clarity on this, but I am totally on the other women's side. Like, the shit happened. But I feel like, even if, like, say if I was Whitney and I said, well, I just really think she got blacked out drunk, like, I think Meredith would have still taken that as an implication that she has a problem. So I feel like either way, Whitney wasn't going to win with that. So Lisa jumps in again, saying that that's a huge accusation and saying you're weaponizing Meredith's reaction. Whitney's trying to say that she was genuinely concerned, and her chance to bring it up on, with her one-on-one was taken away. Now, I would just like to point out that Bronwin started all of this. Y'all realize that? Like, she started all of this. So when she says this, oh wait, sorry, I skipped over one part. So Whitney then tells Meredith that I am upset that you yelled at me. And Meredith denies it. And when she says this, like, I didn't yell at you. The camera pans to the other lady's expressions, and they're reading, bitch, you lying. Like, you yelled at her. Oh gosh, note to self, buy Chris drinks when I get to NYC. This was like it would be liquid courage for me. And I'm just like, oh, this is a guy that I'm attracted to. Let me just go up to him and tell him he's fine, But yeah, anyway, enough of Chris's business. You have to pay for the Patreon for that. So then we cut to Mary's confessional, and she's giving explicit details of what happened and what was said. And she said she did yell at Whitney. So Heather then enters the chat and tells Meredith, you threaten our friendship if either of us sided with Brittany. Meredith denies that, and Heather tries to get Lisa to co-sign, but now Lisa changed her story. Like, y'all remember in the last episode where Heather was like, thank you, Lisa, she said that. Like, so then it's crazy that Lisa is just all of a sudden switched up. So I'm wondering what happened that Lisa changed, like, her account of what happened. So Meredith just keeps saying it didn't happen, and Heather is increasingly getting frustrated. Heather says, well, if it didn't happen, why did you text me an apology then? And we see the text message on the screen. It says, I'm sorry if I snapped at you. And that makes me think, well, Meredith had to be inebriated, because why are you saying if I snapped at you? That means you don't recall. Like, I don't understand that. Like, it's okay to just be like, you know what, that wasn't me. That was the alcohol. Like, I'm sorry for flipping out on y'all. Not you saying you're going to buy the second drink. Y'all be quiet. So then Meredith calls Heather and Whitney a liar, and this really sets Heather off. Like, it would set me off too. Like, imagine you saw something with your own eyes, y'all, and you're being called a liar. So then Heather says, I am furious that Meredith is sitting across from me right now telling me that I lied. Meredith then says, I didn't say that. What? What? She literally said that seconds ago. Like, Heather's like, yes, you did. You just called me a liar. Meredith says, no. Heather says, you did very clearly. And then she talks to the other girl. She was like, did she not say that? When Heather said, I hollered, did she not just say that? Don't gaslight me. Like, she was getting hella mad. And I haven't seen Heather this frustrated. It was a little funny because she's like, Meredith then tells her, you misunderstood. She's still gaslighting her. Like, you literally just called her a liar. So then Heather gets into her soliloquy mode again. She's saying Meredith has questioned her loyalty, her friendship, and her experience of what happened on the plane. And I was there, Meredith. I did nothing wrong. Oh, Heather is good at these soliloquies because once at the end of it, you can't say nothing because she goes through bullet points in her soliloquy. And I get it, y'all. Like, Heather's a liar too, but there's 4 other women that said that like Meredith was wilding out on the plane. So then, cut to Heather's confessional. She says this back and forth gaslighting is triggering her because of her experience with the Mormon church, which is why she's so upset in this moment. So yeah, they aren't getting anywhere. Heather says she's unsettled by this, and she tells Meredith that she needs to acknowledge what happened on the plane and apologize for it and not call her a liar. So Meredith's response is there's not going to be a resolution today, and she thinks they should move on. Wow. I don't know. Like, I know, like, on one hand, I'm like, Meredith really is making this fight with Heather's really making this fight with Meredith, but at the same time, like, I feel like she has a right to be angry if this actually happened on the plane. And she's calling them all liars when they saw it. So I don't know. I know a lot of y'all don't like Heather, but I have to give her the benefit of the doubt on this. Anywho, so then we cut to Mary cutting the tension with comic relief again, asking everyone, are they wearing a girdle too? So Bronwin then does a little cute outfit change, has a second look. I thought it was cute. She says the next game in the theme is they're all going to go around and say their friendship amendments so they can possibly move on as a group. So Bronwin starts and says family is off limits. They all go around with a little hear ye. I don't think it makes sense to talk about everybody's, but Meredith is the last one. They saved the best for last. She said, hear ye. Stop the reactive abuse. We need to stop the reactive abuse. 10 cool points if anybody can define reactive abuse. Because I got a headache trying to break that down when I watched the episode. Reactive abuse. Everyone is confused when she says this, but they're still able to do a toast, and that is where the episode ends. So I'm thinking reactive abuse is abuse from someone that is reacting to abuse that they've gotten. So she's calling what she did on the plane reactive abuse. I don't know. Yes, yes. It was systematic bullying. Just made up terms. That is the OG one. That like this was before alternative facts. A systematic bullying. Yes, Whitney looked it up during the confessional. I'm like, what? Let me ask Siri. Hey Siri, did y'all's phones go off too? Hey Siri, can you define reactive abuse? Can you define reactive abuse? I'm not sure why it's repeating what I say, but they said reactive attachment disorder, that's what they said, is a rare psychological condition that affects children who have experienced neglect, abuse, or trauma in their early developmental stages. It typically involves an inability to seek or accept comfort from those around them. So, a child with this condition may also react violently when a caregiver tries to comfort or discipline them. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Reactive abuse. I love it. She means when victims respond to abuse in abusive ways. Yes, but that still doesn't make it right. Does it make it right? I don't know. But did she mean to explain? Did she mean to talk about herself like that? See, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna shut this down. But that was the end of the episode, y'all. Honestly, this episode could have started at the tea party. Like they could have cut out the fat and the filler, that extra 20 minutes, and just got straight to the tea party. Because that's when it started to get interesting. I give this episode a 7 out of 10. Excuse me. I really appreciated the chain reaction started by Bronwin. Like, first it started out with Bronwin and Whitney, and then Whitney and Meredith got into it, bringing in all the ladies. Well, specifically, about to say Meredith, having Heather and Meredith going at it. So it was just like a chain reaction of events. I just thought that was interesting. Do we think Meredith is lying? I don't think she's lying, but I really think she just doesn't recall what happened. And in her mind, she thinks it only went on for a few minutes and it actually went on for the whole damn flight. So yeah, like if she's not going to admit that, should they all just move on? You're saying this episode gave melatonin. Well, I hate to hear what you think about Beverly Hills. But yes, y'all. If y'all didn't care for this episode, I mean, I liked it. I didn't mind it. We do have the cash trip coming up to Greece. This is episode 12, so I feel like we only have like 4 more weeks to go. They did the reunion yesterday. So yeah, I feel like this season is going to end probably like the first or second week of February. Crazy, because y'all know that I'm going to be doing 5 videos a week in January. Ooh, I shouldn't complain. I should not complain, but it's going to be Potomac, Salt Lake City, Married to Medicine, Beverly Hills, and Traders. So yeah, I'm going to try, y'all. I'm going to try. So with that, I will see y'all for my Beverly Hills review. And look, we're going to talk about that because I'm going to die on that hill that Beverly Hills is still a good franchise. So with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all for the next episode.